Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Directions Mag Geospatial webinar sponsored by our friends at Airbus today. I'm Barbara Duke, Editor-in-Chief here at Directions Magazine, joined by our webinar producer, Lynette Qualia. We encourage you to read the latest geospatial news, articles, listen to podcasts, and of course, watch more webinars over at directionsmag.com. We are excited to have Pauline Solwagner with us today from her office in France to talk about the applications that Pléiades Neo can support and some of the different capabilities that the imagery can provide. Welcome, Pauline. We are excited to learn more today. So over to you.
So, hello everyone, and thank you for attending this meeting about Pléiades Neo. My name is Pauline Solwagner, and I will be your host for this great journey into Pléiades Neo world. As you might know, tomorrow is World Health Day, and what a better way than to associate it with satellite imagery thanks to Pléiades Neo. Just to introduce myself, so I'm product manager for Pléiades Neo constellation, and I'm based in Toulouse in the south of France. And here is the most famous place in Toulouse called Le Capitole. So here is a picture of my office. As you can see, just to the left of the red cycle, my colleagues and I are gathered on the lawn around the Airbus A. Pléiades Neo captured this image of us. You probably won't see it, but I have a big smile on my face and my colleagues too. My car is the blue one in the blue circle, and my desk is in the building in the red cycle. So what about Airbus Defence and Space? Airbus has always been a forerunner in space innovation. Back in 1986, our first satellite, Spot 1, was able to observe a given seat every 5 days at 20-meter resolution. Today, in 2022, our new very high-resolution satellite constellation can image several times a day the same area at 30 centimeters resolution. What a journey! So, we have a large constellation of satellites, optical and radar satellites, and we know that it's not a one-size-fits-all matter. That's why Airbus' approach has always been to offer multi-sensor, multi-resolution, and multi-source data. We hence benefit from a comprehensive constellation of 17 Earth observation satellites, including 14 optical satellites, ranging from 22 meters to 30 centimeters resolution, and also 4 radar satellites ranging from 30 meters to 25 centimeters resolution. As we speak, at this moment, our satellites are in orbit, observing the Earth and assisting our customers in their decision-making. We have been delivering value from data for more than 35 years, providing Earth observation products and systems to a various range of customers and partners worldwide. Customers are evolving in a demanding environment and need the most robust and precise tools to achieve their missions. Higher precision of our data and better reactivity can be reached through leveraging the complementarity of all our sensors, and also we offer higher revisit just by combining radar and optical sensors. So 2021 has been an intense and exciting year for Airbus and more largely for Earth observation. We successfully launched our 2 first Pléiades Neo satellites, which are fully operational as we speak. Pléiades Neo is our new very high resolution constellation offering a native 30 centimeters resolution. Betting on quality was the right choice. The current geopolitical context proved it because it requires such high quality imagery services and revisit capabilities. So the first step of Pléiades Neo was achieved on April 28 with the launch of Pléiades Neo 3 from Kourou. And the second step was achieved on August 16 with Pléiades Neo 4, still from Kourou, with the Vega launcher. The Pléiades Neo program, which is 100% the fruit of Airbus ambition, is the ultimate proof of Airbus' commitment to always push the envelope and deliver best-in-class imagery and data services. So the two first Pléiades Neo satellites are now orbiting safely at 620 kilometers above the Earth and are ensuring 30 centimeters resolution data supply for at least the next 12 years. Since the launch, they have acquired 180 million square kilometers, so it's more than 1/5 of the Earth's surface, and it represents more than almost 800,000 images at 30 centimeters resolution. Now, focusing, of course, on the launch of the two next Pléiades Neo satellites on the Vega C launcher this November. Thanks to this launch, we will double our commercially available acquisition capacity for customers, and the satellites are currently ready in Toulouse, waiting to be shipped. We are really excited for what 2022 will bring in terms of more game-changing capabilities. So, what about Pléiades Neo and to introduce Pléiades Neo? There are 4 agile and identical satellites in constellation, offering tasking and intraday revisit of any point on Earth. It's also the first European 30 centimeter satellite constellation, entirely funded, designed, manufactured, owned, and operated by Airbus. And to create this new constellation, we faced a real technical challenge with a learn-first approach to create a 75% innovation constellation, smaller, lighter, more agile, accurate, and reactive. So they are the first of their class whose capacity are fully commercially available. Why we are talking about Pléiades Neo today? It's not just another constellation for Airbus, but a structuring investment for the industry, and close to 1,000 people worked on at Airbus for 6 years. It's also the result of over 30 years of experience and work with major partners and customers worldwide. And for the industry, Pléiades Neo will be a true enabler for future innovations. So to present you Pléiades Neo in one sentence, 4 identical sensors delivering 6 bands imagery at least twice a day at 30 centimeters native resolution with 3.5 meter geolocation accuracy. I would like to tell you more about some of the game-changing capabilities of Pléiades Neo. Let's discover it in more details. Follow me for the presentation. Pléiades Neo native imagery quality is excellent at 30 centimeters, and it's even higher than we expected. Here you can see a Pléiades Neo image over Sydney Airport in Australia. You can clearly observe the lines on the taxiway, the vehicles in the parking lots, and all the details of this image. The 30 centimeter resolution combined with best-in-class native location accuracy under 3.5 meter, and this is a unique commercial feature. So here we are in Singapore, and you can see and clearly see the lines on the road, the cars, the windows of the boat, and all the details of the vegetation. In terms of spectral channels, Pléiades Neo will acquire simultaneously the panchromatic channels and multispectral bands, which are blue, blue, green, red, red edge, near-infrared. There are 2 additional bands compared to its predecessor Pléiades, red edge and deep blue, unlocking new applications for maritime and agricultural. But we will see this point after. Concerning the revisit capabilities, Pléiades Neo satellites are covering the entire globe, even at extreme latitude. So you know that every day, within the same time window, a Pléiades Neo will fly over your area of interest. We guarantee visibility over any point on Earth at least twice a day for the 4 satellites when we will have the full constellation. And according to the latitude of the area, the revisit rate can go up to 4. We task our Pléiades Neo satellites at each orbit, thanks to our 2 polar stations, so every 45 minutes with 2 satellites in operation, which means our tasking plan is constantly evolving and which allows us to be extremely reactive to answer to the need of our customers. In our Northern Europe latitude, for example, you can task Pléiades Neo just 1 hour before acquisition. If you add the revisit capacity to the agility of the satellites, the constellation is able to acquire up to 2 million square kilometers every single day. To give you an example, it's more than the surface of the Mexico. So 2 million square kilometers at 30 centimeters resolution, fully dedicated to our customers every day. This guarantees you access whenever you need it, and this is really a world first. The good news is that everything I've just shown you is easily and quickly accessible. Satellites are connected directly to the cloud, and thanks to our digital platform, One Atlas, you can retrieve the images directly, like on YouTube. Huge work has been done on digitalization. Users can now have access to the imagery and even task the satellite in just a few clicks with One Atlas. All this without any human intervention. It's accessible from anywhere in the world, very easy to use, and it's like we are literally giving you the joystick of the satellite, and we are the only ones to offer this kind of services. To resume it, with One Atlas, task what you want, when you want, with the criteria that matter for you, in full autonomy, and be sure you will get the information you need at the right time. One Atlas provides access to multi-source, multi-resolution data, elevation models, and analytics. You can build your archived satellite imagery library with Airbus optical constellation. As illustrated here with Lego bricks, the swath of our sensors covers larger scale areas and target locations from spot to Pléiades Neo with different resolution. And online streaming of Pléiades Neo at full resolution released yesterday thanks to Live in Library. So you can log in now. I invite you to have a look directly in Live in Library. We are now talking about the use cases. Pléiades Neo image can answer a wide range of market needs thanks to a combination of multiple assets, so resolution, revisit, coverage capacity, and not only. Among the main vertical markets we find defense, security, energy, mapping, location-based services, oil and gas and infrastructure, but also aviation, maritime, forestry and agriculture. So let's focus on mapping, infrastructure, agriculture and maritime for today. First, concerning the mapping, let's start with this beautiful Pléiades Neo image taken in Washington on September 2021. Can you name this famous building in the chat? I think you could. So on the mapping side, we are working, for example, with mapping agencies, land management, infrastructure management agency, cities or civil engineering companies, and many others. They use imagery in many of their activities, for example, to create maps, to make urban plans, to prepare civil engineering works, to create 3D city models, or to optimize census planning. All the customer and all our partners need the perfect knowledge, understanding of one landscape to manage it, adapt it, enhance it, and to enforce and check regulations and policies applications. Pléiades Neo will take them even further and allow them to do much more thanks to the geolocation accuracy at 3.5 meters, which is very important for them. The 30 centimeters resolution, which brings a much higher level of detail to clearly understand an area. Also, thanks to the revisit capabilities, ensure image freshness and update of the image. The customer can have the agility to have their image in mono, stereo, or tri-stereo, And also they need a really rapid availability, and it's very useful to monitor an area and to see the change and to monitor the change between two dates. Also, they need 3D capabilities and massive acquisition capacity. All these new capabilities, thanks to Pléiades Neo, will drive a lot of innovation for mapping and already allow to realize new applications, like, for example, on the land administration side, to create land use map, to improve land planning and valuation, and also, for example, to follow cadastre, or to detect illegal construction. Thanks to the better resolution and the change detection, we can enforce the policies, and the customer can get taxes with the detection. For urban mapping, the customer can get the most of the city territory for its growth and improve the quality of life, like for example, roof shape for solar panel, green roof implementation, thanks to a better rendering of buildings in 3D. They can also make some urban planification or create smart city projects, because very high resolution 3D products revisit capabilities for change detection, and analytics are keys for smart city projects. Concerning infrastructure management, the civil engineering, they can make some they can plan pipelines, plan routes, monitor the infrastructure, and follow all the works related to the pipelines. And also they can have a database for obstacles around airports and air bases. So let's now discover a concrete example by going to the United Arab Emirates, and more precisely to Abu Dhabi, to monitor urban developments thanks to Pléiades Neo. And here is the complete view of what we are going to analyze. The image was taken on the July 3rd, and as you can see, we will analyze several sites of interest. So these two Pléiades Neo images show the construction site of the future Guggenheim Museum, scheduled to open in 2025. It will be one of the components of the vast cultural district on Saadiyat Island, along with the Louvre Abu Dhabi, among others. So there are still about 3 years of work to go, and you can see that we are monitoring the progress of the works, and that we can see the evolutions between the image taken in November 2021 and in July 2022. Here is another example. This is the Abrahamic family house. It's an interface complex on Saadiyat Island as well, in Abu Dhabi. And it will house the church of Saint Francois of Assisi, the Imam Al-Tayyib Mosque, and the Moses Ben Mayon Synagogue. On this image, also to date, this could be a bus station under construction to serve the cultural district. In the rest of the area, we can see that a great deal of construction is underway, and that a great deal of material is stored. So I think you can see the difference and the evolution of the buildings. Here, underground construction work is no longer visible around Wim Central Park. This could be foundation for future towers or the construction of underground parking lots that have been completed. So you can see the final image in the screen as well. And here, the last image, work is underway on this part of Wim Island. Numerous skyscrapers should eventually be built. And to conclude this part about mapping, a beautiful Pléiades Neo image over Kuala Lumpur or New York here. This is very high resolution satellite constellation. And thanks to Pléiades Neo, we can have a look at the tiniest building in the world, the Steinway Tower, located near Central Park. And it measures 435 meters high, 18 meters wide, and scale 84-story high. So now let's look at infrastructure monitoring. We are now in Chuquicamata in Chile, thanks to Pléiades Neo image of July 19 in 2021. The Chuquicamata mine is the largest open-pit copper mine in the world, located in the Atacama Desert in northern Chile. This mine alone contains 13% of the world's copper reserves. On the infrastructure side, our customers are, for example, oil and gas company, exploration manager, new venture group, financial players, geologists, seismic data company, or as well environmental organization. They need data satellites, for example, for monitoring construction sites, so they need really the raw visit. It's very important for them. They need as well satellite data to identify groundwork, equipment numbers, material stock, and progress on a large scale. So 30 centimeters is very useful for them. Also, they need spectral band combination to have more precise mapping for example, for potential mineral location and geological studies. And finally, higher quality dams for the commercial evaluation of the movement of stockpile from the mine, for example, is very useful as well. So, thanks to Pléiades Neo, they can now have a better resolution, more revisit capabilities, more spectral bands, 3D capabilities. They can also make some last-minute tasking, and all the images are rapidly available to answer to their needs. So we can now think about new use cases thanks to very high resolution. So our customer will be able to develop new applications from pre-exploration to site management. For example, concerning pre-exploration, they can, with the satellite imagery, analyze the site before acquisition. They can also plan pipelines or new infrastructures and track exploration activities. On the production side, they can monitor onshore and offshore site development. And they can also make some control of and monitoring of the activities, for example, tracking, risk mitigation, optimization on a regular basis. On the asset management side, they can monitor the environment around the production area. They can also make some core and maintenance monitoring or risk management and mitigation on the environmental side. So let's take a closer look at what Pléiades Neo can bring. We will look at the progress of the construction work for the Olympic Games in Paris in 2024. So this image was taken by Pléiades Neo on September 22, so 6 days ago. It gives us a global view on the infrastructures that we will monitor, and this infrastructure with all different events. So we will have a look on the different infrastructures. So first, here is the Olympic Village. You can see what the final building will look like at the top right. Also, you can see that thanks to the resolution of Pléiades Neo, we have a clear and precise view on the construction site and also on the cranes that are constructing the two buildings. I now let you discover the aquatic center under construction. And now let's go to the media village, which extends over a large part. The media village will welcome journalists from all over the world during the game. There will be up to 2,000 journalists, and this village will then be transformed into an ecological district. Finally, here is the arena from Pléiades Neo. So this first image was taken on August 1st. And arena will host several Olympic and Paralympic events in 2024. There will be nearly 8,000 seats, and the arena will host badminton and gymnastics events, for example. The work is scheduled to be done in 2023, and the site is based on an environmental and social model. Same place on a different date, so still the arena, and this image of the arena was taken just before, and it allows us to monitor the difference between two dates. To conclude this part about infrastructure, several images of the Kennedy Space Center in Florida with Artemis. And this first image is from 2021. This one is from 19 August in 2022. As well, 2022. So you can see that there are different incidence angle and different level of zoom. But you can clearly see all the infrastructure and all the area of the Artemis launch. And now we will have a look at what Pléiades Neo can bring to the agricultural market. We are now in the northeast of France, in Manonville, thanks to Pléiades Neo Imagery from March 2022. So you can see different areas. Who are our customers and partners on the agricultural side? So there are, for example, institutional, local, national, and international, as well as a lot of customers related to precision agriculture, for example, farmers, cooperatives, software and service providers, agricultural machinery providers, chemical product providers, also insurance and reinsurance, financial as well for banks and trading. And finally, we are working with agro-food and agro-industries. So they work with satellite imagery to monitor crops like grapes, nuts, berries, for example, as well by combining very high resolution satellite imagery. Precision agriculture service provider wants to use it for identification of irrigation problems, directed scouting as well, tree count and vegetation monitoring. They can also make some research plots where new products and solutions are tested. And also they can make some erosion follow-up. So what is really important for them, the resolution for some micro areas, the revisit capabilities, the new band red edge, and for example, as well, the tip and cue for in-season time series from 22 meters to 30 centimeters. Concerning new use cases, they are using Pléiades Neo for tree count, which is of interest for crop insurance as well as general management and forecasting revenue. Also, they are using Pléiades Neo for high-value crops with small field plots. So, for example, crop trial in microplots, vineyards, tree plantation, forest degradation monitoring, and also replanting. And so there are a lot of innovation related to red edge band and also the new resolution. So what is precision agriculture? The objective is to better manage crop fields by taking into account spatial variability within the field, and as well to adapt crop decision in order to locally optimize field inputs. Precision agriculture requires the collection of a lot of information and processed in a geospatial database. So we need to use a multi-sensor system, for example, ground, tractor, aerial, and space with different sensors and different resolution. And also use of advanced decision rules or crop functioning models to derive recommendations. So this is precision agriculture. The two additional spectral bands of Pléiades Neo are key to estimate vegetation parameters for precision agriculture. So first, the deep blue band helps to characterize atmospheric condition at time of acquisition. So we can perform an autonomous atmospheric correction and be robust to a wide range of conditions. And the red edge band is useful to estimate LI values on crops at plain development, and as well to measure chlorophyll content to assess crop nutrition and health status. The red edge band is also very useful for forest monitoring on the replanting and degradation side. So the exploitation of the red edge gives access to more accurate crop information, such as leaf area index, LAI, to quantify crop foliage development, and as well information concerning the chlorophyll content to assess crop nutrition and health status. Sentinel-2 data with 13 spectral bands and state-of-the-art calibration can be considered as the reference for agriculture applications. So our benchmark for red edge and deep blue is Sentinel-2, and as you can see on this image, Pléiades Neo is performing as good as Sentinel-2, but with incredible resolution on top. So we have additional information thanks to the resolution and the accuracy of the sensor. Comparisons performed on the key crop variables, so concerning LAE and chlorophyll, demonstrate that Pléiades Neo data provides very good sensitivity and low noise for mapping vegetation. Let's know about microplots. So objectives are to establish detailed properties of crop cultivars or to evaluate crop management strategies, for example, for nitrogen application. And here is a comparison made with drone images on trials conducted by French agronomic partners, Orvalis and Terrinovia. You can see that the accuracy of Pléiades Neo is as good as that of the drone, and that all the details of the image are equally visible on both images. So, transient or permanent nitrogen deficiency generated by various nitrogen application strategy will primarily express in the plant chlorophyll level. And remote sensing is an efficient solution with respect to labor-intensive growth measurements. So, for example, biomass sampling, chlorophyll meters. And the spatial resolution of Pléiades Neo is well adapted to typical size of microplots. So, for example, from 6 to 60 square meters. Pléiades Neo are a major interest for permanent crops. So, for example, olives, vineyards, tree plantation, orchards. And this kind of crops only require one of a few acquisitions per year to overall monitor the health of the plantations and characterize the development. Also, thanks to the satellite imagery, we can detect diseases or stress and identify dead or missing trees. So to conclude, Pléiades Neo images are fully adapted to the application. First, the coverage of extensive area of plantation, then the identification of individual trees and measurement of crown size, and finally, the assessment of tree health by using the red edge and this, and also the chlorophyll content. And finally, it's time for the last use case concerning the maritime. Now we are in Jakarta, thanks to this image from June 21 in 2021. Exploring the seas and analyzing their depths in details is now possible thanks to the 30 centimeters resolution of Pléiades Neo. Several challenges are present in maritime market where sometimes flying a plane or drone is difficult with a large area. Using fine resolution permitted thanks to Pléiades Neo to provide valuable information that is difficult to obtain otherwise. So our customers for maritime are, for example, Navy forces, intelligence services, but also European institutions, blue economy, or NGOs. For example, we made a use case with Ocean Cleanup, which is an NGO specialized in plastic monitoring. And what are they doing? So on the intelligence side, all the cycle is fulfilled. So we can detect, identify, classify, disseminate all the information. Also, we can make some near real-time monitoring, and we deliver the imagery very rapidly. And also, we have high revisit capabilities. So they take the IIS and they make a correlation with satellite imagery to have a higher precision. So the differentiator are the resolution, the freshness of the images, the last-minute tasking, and the rapid availability. And also the deep blue band, which allow multiple new applications like better characterization of atmospheric factors, better dehazing, and for example, the deep blue allow to retrieve information in dark shaded areas. So maritime application, thanks to the deep blue band, we can make some coastal and aquatic mapping up to 35 meters deep, also bathymetry, glaciology, whales and shark detection, defense and intelligence application, and also a lot of tip and Q application by combining IIS, radar, optical imagery to have an information on an area. So Pléiades Neo is a real support for water management and protection around the world. For Navy, it could be better detection of objects on and in the water, so up to 6 meters, with a thinner level of details. So for example, weapons, materials, equipments. On the emergency and rescue, it's concerning hijacked boat, daring boat, go fast, illegal fishing activities, the combination of the resolution and sensor, and also the revisit capabilities of the Airbus constellation enables a true tip and Q application. So here we are, the last use case related to maritime applications. So the deep blue band refers to an additional blue band at the edge of the visible domain. There is an interest for all water application because of lesser water absorption in this band. Deep blue band has also many more advantages for bathymetry, to get as well a better characterization of the atmosphere, and to retrieve information on plain shaded area. Satellite-derived bathymetry is the usual name for remote sensing technique to estimate water depth from empirical or analytical approach. And the satellite-derived bathymetry record images of high radiometric quality being fully calibrated. In addition to the turbidity, water depth estimation can also be affected by a number of factors, for example, haze, cast shadow, clouds, glint, and variation. And this is an example of bathymetry from Pléiades Neo acquisition in Guadeloupe. And here is the vision with the nautical chart, so you can see how the results are impressive and the same. So this is as well an example of the depth and the bathymetry in the Aden, and the last example in the Persian Gulf. So to conclude this part, I would like to show you some beautiful image over different areas. So here, UK, Singapore, you can see all the details related to maritime. So to conclude this part, why Pléiades Neo? Because Pléiades Neo is performant, reliable, suited to various needs, and available 100% for you. Pléiades Neo ensures regular access anywhere on Earth, at least twice a day, and sometimes more, according to the latitude of the area. And as you always know, when a satellite will fly over your area of interest, placing your tasking request from your computer becomes very simple. So with Pléiades Neo, see the world at 30 centimeters, but not only at 30 centimeters. Airbus Constellation offers you a various size and angles of this incredible stadium. Can you recognize it? I think some of you can. It's the National Stadium of Beijing, where the opening ceremony of the International Winter Games took place. And now, thanks a lot for your attention, and your questions are more than welcome.
Thank you so much, Pauline. We have lots of questions here, and we're going to work as quickly as we can. So you mentioned that there are 2 satellites that will be in orbit in November of this year. What are the differences with the existing 4 that are already orbiting?
They are the same satellites. We just make a launch in different times. So the constellation has 4 identical satellites. So the Pléiades Neo 5 and 6 that will be launched on November are the same as the one in orbit.
Wonderful. You mentioned that each image covers 14 square kilometers. What are the area dimensions for horizontal and vertical?
Each satellite is able to acquire 500,000 square kilometers per day, so the full constellation 2 million square kilometers. And depending on the need, we can make, for example, some speculative acquisition to see how many times we need to have a full area.
Wonderful. So someone says, in case they are needing stereo images of specific places where there is no coverage, what is the procedure for tasking imagery for those areas?
For example, we can first make a speculative tasking and also launch the tasking when it is possible, depending on the cloud cover and the incidence angle. So you can directly ask to your customer representative or to the sales support, or directly send an email to have the tasking in stereo.
Wonderful. So I know that you talked about 3D capabilities, but maybe you could elaborate again about how Pléiades Neo supports 3D.
Yes, of course. So Pléiades Neo images are available as of today, and end of September or early October, we will launch advanced products, which are 15 centimeters resolution, mosaic and also DEM. And concerning 3D capabilities, it's like on the case-by-case studies, and we can propose some work related to this. It's part of the advanced product of Pléiades Neo.
Wonderful. Someone would like to know if it's possible to improve geolocation accuracy to something closer to 1 meter.
Yes, it's possible thanks to the radar imagery. So the native geolocation accuracy of Pléiades Neo is 3.5 meters, but we can work with radar imagery to improve it.
And is the imagery atmospherically corrected?
No, but thanks to the deep blue, we can make these kind of things. And also with one atlas, when you launch a tasking, you can show the cloud cover you would like to have on your area of interest. So the tasking could be take into account your preferred parameters concerning the cloud cover. And also with the deep blue, we can make some corrections as well.
Excellent. And does Airbus offer SARS data?
Yeah, yes, of course. We have 4 weather satellites, and all the customers have as well an access to the weather imagery.
All right. So many great questions coming in, folks, and we'll get a few more.
It's very interesting.
I know. We'll get just a few more answered here, and just rest assured, everyone, that the good folks at Airbus will follow up with you personally if we don't get to your question, because we are just a tiny bit over. So thank you for your patience with us. All right. What is the spatial resolution for the deep blue band or the other bands from the multispectral bands?
It's 1.2 meter.
Perfect. And is the living library free to use?
You need to have an account on One Atlas. And also there are some credits, and you can use all the credits. But if you would like to have more information concerning Living Library, feel free to send us an email and we can explain directly.
Wonderful. All right.
Thanks a lot for this question. We will come back to you with all the answer, and feel free to send some email or to connect on LinkedIn if you need more information regarding Pléiades Neo.
Thanks again to Pauline for sharing her expertise, and we just hope that you have a great day. Tell everyone about Airbus and Directions Magazine. Thanks, everybody.